Hey, everybody. Can you hear me? I see two people are here. If you can hear me, give me a hi or a comment. Okay. So I hop in here early, make sure everything worked right. Hi, Jamaica. Hi, Christina. How are you, Christina? Oh, good. I can see your comments. Excellent. Let's see. Let's hope these comments keep coming through. I have the hardest time with Facebook Lives. They don't work for me right half the time, especially when I'm using Zoom. I'm good, thanks. Can't stay though. Client is 6. Oh, okay. Well, how are ya? Christina and I were in Costa Rica together. She was my roommate. That was fun, right? We stayed in this little it was basically a screened-in porch, really, with a netting all around us that we didn't use. And I think the second to last day, Christina, we were like, maybe we should be using this when we sleep at night. So miss you all in Costa Rica. Yes. Oh, I give you a heart. How do I do that? I know. We had so much fun there. I'll miss you. Too bad you can't stay, but have fun with your client. You can watch the replay if you want to. February, yeah, I know. Seems like so long ago now, doesn't it? Oh, do you mean Costa Rica again in February? Are you coming? I always feel like I'm yelling on these lives. I will for sure. Oh, awesome. Okay. For those of you that don't know, Megan Smith Gunnell is hosting another Costa Rican event. The one we went to was really small. It was like, I don't know, how many was it? 18 of us, Christina? But she's doing another one February 2023 that's going to be like, I don't know, 100 people, 150 people. It's a summit. She's going to have CEUs and speakers, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I'll be there. Drinking my bubbly. Yeah, so who's here? Yeah, 18 people. Right. It was so fun. It was just a small little intimate group. Okay. Oh, people are sending me Facebook messages. Don't message me right now, people. So who else is here? Let's see. Jamaica, how are you? What are you up to? Are you traveling? What is going on in your world? Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, well, I'll see you later, Christina. I'll definitely see you February 2023. Hi, everybody. So it's 6 p.m. Welcome to the Traveling Therapist Extravaganza. I hope you like my background here. How's everybody doing? I am so excited to be just hosting this week. I just want us to have a lot of fun. So everybody that's here, I would just love you'd say you're here, say hi, tell me about yourself. What kind of traveler are you? Let me see. I've got some options here. Let's see. I'm going to drop these in here in the comments. What kind of traveler are you? I want to hear about you guys, like what you're up to, because part of this I want to sort of answer questions if you have them coming up about traveling. We've got the Expert's Guide to Becoming a Traveling Therapist course that's going to be released on Thursday night. But I want to use this week too to help you guys if you have questions. A lot of you guys, oh, I keep getting Facebook messages. Sorry, if I look distracted, that's why these messages are popping up. Um, A lot of you guys might have already started working on the Dream Life worksheet that I created for you. If you do complete it, you'll be entered to win prizes. There's lots of prizes on Thursday night. Um, oh, coming out of the closet traveler. Tell me about that. I asked what type of travelers are you guys, and Jennifer said coming out of the closet traveler. I would love to hear more about that. That's one I didn't even think of. But back to the Dream Life worksheet. I'm going to drop the links for you guys just in case you don't have them. Let me go get that. So there's two things I am encouraging everybody to do while we're doing this 4-day extravaganza. One is the Dream Life worksheet, and one is a bingo board, which I love games. I love bingo. I love all kinds of games like that. So I thought I'd create a traveling therapist bingo board. So let me drop the links for you guys. Okay. Let me get the links. So what I'd like everybody to do, if you want to participate for the prize drawings, is go over to these links and start filling out the worksheet and the bingo board. So let me get these for you. Worksheet and bingo board. Copy, paste. Okay, the bingo board's just fun or whatever, but the Dream Life worksheet is actually, I sort of put it together just to guide you guys to see where you are, because I get messages all the time about, I want to do what you're doing. I want to be a digital nomad, but this, and this keeps coming up, and it's blocking me from being able to live the life I want to live. So I thought it would be good to just start out with, a worksheet basically that's just walking you through, that question we all ask as therapists. If I could wave a magic wand right now, where would you be in your life? And I put some different categories just to see where you guys would want to be, to get you thinking about it. And then the worksheet also walks you through, like, what are some roadblocks you might be facing to becoming a traveling therapist? And then lastly, like, what are 3 goals you can set to help you start to move towards that goal of whatever type of traveling therapist you want to be? So I hope you guys will fill that out and share it with me. When you complete it, you can email to me if you want to keep it private, or you could post it in the Facebook group. I would love if you guys would just post them right in the group as soon as you finish them. I think it'll help everybody else see kind of, one, we all struggle with the same types of things around this, the traveling and the working and how to navigate all that stuff. And two, just to like put the intention out there, put it out there for all of us to kind of pay attention to and see, and just see what everybody's struggling with. So let's see what comments we have over here. Jennifer says, okay, coming out of the closet type traveler. Yeah. Oh, post-pandemic. Okay. Yeah, I guess we've all been in the closet, haven't we? Oh my gosh, it's been great traveling. I think I've actually gotten COVID about 3 times during this whole thing. I just got over it again. I was at a conference about a month ago now, and I think like 20 of us all came back with COVID. So it kind of sucked, but it was really fun before we got sick. So I hear you. Let me share my Dream Life worksheet with you guys. I was working on my own just to kind of show you. I did it like before I actually became a traveling therapist, what would have been standing in my way when I was thinking back to before I was actually able to do it. Um, let's see. So, if I waved my magic wand back then, it would be I'd be able to travel to wherever I want to go, whenever I want to, no restrictions as to where or when. And I would always want to usually be on the water, anywhere on the water, being able to swim, just sitting on the beach or paddleboarding or just walking on the beach, that sort of thing. And then my physical health, where would I want that to be? So I love attending group classes and exercise classes and activities. So everywhere we go, I like try to look in the community and see if they have any type of activity there that I could do in a group setting. They do have one where we are right now, but it was like everybody there was 80 years old and it was water aerobics. So I skipped that one. But my friend Gabby, she does an online Zumba class once a week. So I try to, if I can, usually Monday nights at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, I try to hop in and do her Zoom class with her. So that's one way I keep fit. But before I did that, if I were doing this worksheet, that would have been a really important thing to me, is like, how can I still get that kind of group exercise thing if I'm a digital nomad and traveling? So let me see. So what are you guys thinking about all this so far? Just kind of hearing my my roadblocks or my dreams of where I wanted to be. The financial piece of, if I could look back and wave that magic wand, it would be, I would want to develop multiple income streams so I could fund my traveling and not be so dependent on having to see like 30 clients a week, just be like tied to that one-to-one model. So that really was an important thing to me back when I first started to become a traveling therapist. And now some of you might know I've developed like 8 different income streams, courses, a membership, podcasts with sponsorships. I've got a directory. I do private coaching. So I've got all these income streams coming in, but it's really great for me because I can work when I want to, and not have to, be tied to a location for 8 hours every single day. So I've really worked on that, developing all these different income streams. I want to be able to live comfortably. That's really important. So I want to make enough that I can participate in excursions in different places. I like going on these fun excursions where you can go on the sailboat all day and have lunch and all of that stuff. I love doing that. I like to eat at nice restaurants. I'm a foodie, even though I'm a celiac, I'm gluten-free. I can still find pretty good restaurants to eat at most of the time, depending on where we are. So all that stuff's important to me. Let me see here. Let's see. Okay. And then the things that were keeping me stuck from moving forward. COVID, obviously, we were supposed to start becoming digital nomads back in 2020, but we couldn't do it, obviously, because everything shut down. So we ended up signing a lease and that put everything on hold. But then in February this year, we were able to just like go full in with the digital nomad thing. So it's been super fun. And the other thing I said was my partner's job potentially could hold us back. Right now he's completely remote and hopefully he'll be able to stay remote forever, but you never know how your partner's schedule is going to be. So that can always be sort of stressful if you're an online therapist and your partner's not able to be remote the same way you are. But there's ways to work around that. I've coached a lot of people and we figured it out together. So that's good. And then the other thing was family expectations. Like, what's my family going to think if I just pick up and move away and they don't see me for years and years and years because I'm off, who knows where traveling. So I did say, based on this information, what are 3 goals you can set to move forward past that stuff? So obviously with the COVID, protect myself, be smart when I'm traveling. I can encourage my partner to find remote work, or we could try to figure out a solution for that. Maybe work 6 months on and don't work 6 months, if that's what you need to do. And then talk to my family about their feelings and try to regularly communicate with them, like via FaceTime and taking trips home occasionally. So I have been able to do that, and I call them on FaceTime all the time. So that's been really good for me. And lastly, the traveling therapist community can help me become unstuck by sharing their experiences, tips, tricks, and strategies to manage all of the above. So I love this group, mainly because I get to hear what you guys are doing, and it encourages me and inspires me. It's fantastic. So I would encourage you guys, if anything, use the group. If you're stuck, if you do the worksheet and there's something coming up that says, this is why I can't travel, I'm stuck here, like ask the group for suggestions, ask for help, because a lot of us have a lot of experience around navigating this stuff and figuring out workarounds, and we've been able to manage it. So we might be able to help you. So I encourage you to do that. So let me see. Oh my gosh, my friend Cindy, our first guest, is already popping in. So I'm going to let Cindy in real quick. Let's see. Let's see if Cindy comes in with us. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Kim.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you
Yes.
so much for inviting me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm just chit-chatting with everybody that's here right now, but I just got a message from somebody that said they can't figure out where we are. So let me tell her we are in the Traveling Therapist Facebook group.
Oh, I love the festive screen you have. I want that.
It's a Traveling Therapist Extravaganza. I should have sent it
Great.
to you so you could have it too.
Yeah, do that for the next round.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Diana. So I'm trying to manage the Zoom and the people making comments. I'm trying to figure out how to put them both in the same place. How are you, Cindy? I'm so glad to
Oh,
see
I'm
you.
good. It's great to be here. Yeah.
So for those of you just joining us, throughout the week, I've invited contributors to the Expert's Guide to Becoming a Traveling Therapist course, and Cindy was one of them, and she's also a dear friend of mine.
Oh,
Uh, it's so funny today. You know how Facebook has those memories pop up where it says, a year ago today you were doing this. A year ago today, Cindy and I were together traveling as traveling therapists in Colorado. It was my first time ever in Colorado. Where did we go, Cindy? I'm trying to remember.
well, we went to the Garden of the Gods.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
We
right.
met another therapist friend of yours, so we had like
Madeline.
Madeline. That was really great. We went to Boulder. We went to Golden. We found a gluten-free, dairy-free bakery because we both like that and have to eat that way. It was really
That's
fun.
exciting.
I think I saw clients then, but you didn't.
Yeah, I think I was like, I'm taking this week off.
Yeah.
So I just chilled and but yeah, you did see clients for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And I know that my contribution to your course is about relationships, couples who travel, but relationships are relationships and it goes for friends as well. So
Yes.
I think it's really cool that we're meeting today as
I know. It's like
traveling
meant to be.
friends.
It's meant to
Yeah,
be. We'll have to book another one sometime soon.
exactly. Yeah.
I was just telling Cindy that we're in Florida right now and we're getting ready when we leave here. We're going to just drive up the East Coast and we're going to just stop along the way and eventually end up in Maine. And that's where Cindy is. So I'm super
Well,
excited about that.
that's
Yeah,
great.
we're just gonna show up at her house and stay there for a couple weeks. Now, I'm just kidding.
There's room. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll pick your
So
brain for the things I need help with.
yes, absolutely. So you guys that are watching, do you have any questions or roadblocks around, your partner or traveling with your partner? Because Cindy created that in the course. She did a whole training on how do you navigate, how do you negotiate that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, let me see if anybody
Yeah.
has any comments over here. Hi,
Well,
Diana.
and as you all are thinking or thinking about either the last big fight you had when you traveled with a partner or when it went really well, either of those are really great experiences to share. um, what I love about travel, especially for couples, is that it gives us something so new. It brings that aliveness that we all crave in our relationships. And I think of you, Kim, and everyone knows you and your partner are traveling together, and you've done
Yeah.
4 months already.
Yeah. Isn't that
So
crazy?
it's crazy. And at some point, I think it would be really cool to share, like, how has your relationship transformed? Because when we travel
Yeah.
with our partner, we're open
Mhm.
to pursuing that aliveness, the integrity, depth and joy of experiences that we don't get in our day-to-day routine, and the connection growth that happens. So I
Yeah.
think, it's just a wonderful opportunity for couples that way. And again, there are lots of opportunities to be triggered, to have, your expectations not met, to have, conflict over planning, or why is
Mm,
she excited but he's not, or vice versa. So I cover
mm.
some of these different things like planning, how to stay sane, how to stay attuned to your partner, which is something we need to do in our regular everyday life as well.
Yeah.
How to be
I need to go back and
intentional.
watch that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, it's something to review, um,
Yeah.
something to
No,
practice.
it's been interesting. I mean, we get along very well. I mean, there are differences. Like when I went with Cindy in Colorado, I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to be traveling with a girlfriend because we could like go in the shops and we like to go try, stuff at this coffee shop and we just like to go around and do all this girl stuff." And he's not like that. He's like, "No, I don't want to go to the farmer's market. I don't want to go like check out the museum." So we've had to totally negotiate that stuff. That stuff I want
Yeah.
to go do. I just go do it by myself and he's fine with it. He doesn't care.
Mhm.
But we have found a lot of things we like to do together, like finding like a state park and just go walking, for a couple hours, different places, just exploring around the town. We both love to swim in the ocean. So, we found a lot of the similarities and we negotiated the other ones that don't really work that well,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's finding those experiences that you can do together. Sometimes they're new ones, or sometimes it's just hiking, but in a new place. And the negotiation piece is huge. As long as you're doing that, right, assuming good intentions of the other, and so that's what I cover a little bit in my segment as well, right? Because we could
Yeah.
negotiate, but still hold resentment. Why didn't
Absolutely.
he want to go here? Why didn't she want to go there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard. It's really
Mhm.
difficult.
Yeah.
Let me put in here. So you guys watching, have any of you had any of these struggles in your relationship? We'd love to just hear about it. Put some stuff out there. And if you did, how did you navigate it? Let us
Yeah.
know.
Or
Yeah.
and let us know, like, even, how did you stay sane if you had, a really long delay someplace, or late arrival, or traveling with kids in the car, or whatever. Like, those are
Yeah.
things that everybody wants to know. How do I stay sane?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do I not get into a
Mhm.
fight? Maybe
Mhm.
you used humor.
Yeah. Like, this is ridiculous. This flight's been delayed for 20 hours.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that's happened a lot.
Yeah. Another thing that I also address in the segment of
Mhm.
that course is when only one partner travels, and I think that comes up often for
Yeah.
therapists if we want to do something, or maybe your partner travels for work, or maybe you want to start traveling, or you want to do more of that solo.
Mhm.
How do you manage your relationship and keep that connection?
Yeah.
And can you create some rituals before you leave, before you depart, and also when you return for that reentry? And then when you're gone, what are you going to do? I heard this great thing. It's from Esther Perel. Everyone knows she's an amazing
Yeah.
relationship psychologist. I mean, she's really the goddess when it comes to that. But she was saying, if you're traveling apart, instead of checking in each night, like, how's everything going, how are the kids, whatever, every 2 days, write a letter
Oh,
or an email, and something deeper, and it's going to be more connecting, and like more like intimate contact with your partner if you write something, rather than just, this is what I did, this is, the lawn was cut, whatever.
yeah. Oh,
I
I love
loved that.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of a relationship junkie, so I'm always listening to podcasts or things like that.
I know you love podcast. It's
And you have an
somebody
amazing podcast. I think it's so great, Kim.
Oh my gosh, thank
Shout
you.
out to you and what you've created there. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm pausing because somebody's asking me. They can't find where we're meeting. So
Mm.
she keeps messaging me. I'm trying to tell her where we are. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, it's really
Cindy,
amazing.
Cindy and my friend Megan encouraged me to do that podcast. We were all kind of talking about, oh gosh, maybe we should all like start a podcast one day. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. So I just like jumped on it, and I obviously have no idea what I'm doing with any of this stuff. It's like,
Well,
what do I
I
do?
don't
Yeah.
sell yourself short. You're so gutsy to do that, and it's really working out great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been so fun. It's just fun to talk to everybody about their journey, really. I love
Mhm.
it. I could listen to travel stories all day long,
Yeah.
which probably
So
makes me a little weird.
how about you, Kim? Since we're not getting a ton of comments, maybe people are still trying
Yeah.
to find us.
Yeah.
Um, can, like, dividing up travel chores, like when you guys go to different destinations, whether you're going to an Airbnb or you check into a resort or something, how do you
Mhm.
guys negotiate like different divvying up travel chores?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do all of it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He's like in the other room. He's going to come in here and get on the video. No, no, no. Normally we plan ahead, like we buy groceries, like we'll do it in the car. We'll do Instacart or something. We'll be like, all right,
Mhm.
what do we want to eat for dinner? So as we're like driving to the place, we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. And Instacart's great. I don't know if you guys use that, but um, basically you can time it for when the groceries get delivered. So they show up like
Oh,
shortly after we show up at a place. So that usually works out pretty well as long as it's not the middle of the night. Um, so we do that, and then we just whoever's not busy, we just
mhm.
seriously, it's like, oh my God, I'm out of like all my clean clothes. He's like, well, let me throw a load in, So we're really good about negotiating that stuff,
Yeah.
which I feel lucky
Well,
about because I don't think
yeah.
all couples are.
Right. You're good at being a team. That's what I hear. You work together as a team, whether you travel or not.
Yes.
Yes, and that's the magic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And it wasn't, I mean, I wasn't always, we weren't always on the same page about the digital nomad thing. Like he was fine just really traveling, but he knew it was so important to me. I think I brought Cindy into that conversation too, back when it was like, he doesn't want to do the digital nomad thing. And then finally one day he was like, you know what? I think I do want to do it. I was like, thank God. So then we started
Yeah.
planning and then finally left in February.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's see. Somebody made a comment. Oh, Jennifer said, very inspiring, Kim Tolson. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. You need to take that to heart. You are
Thank
very
you.
inspiring to us all.
Oh, thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about you guys, Cindy? Do you and Gary have pretty similar travel styles, you think? Or
No, we don't.
oh,
It's funny, and I just got a Psychology Today notice for couples therapy
oh,
popping
you
up.
did?
So like this is real life. Yeah, and that gives me an idea. Actually, like you should have your partner on, I should have my partner on, or we should do like a
Yeah.
partners podcast thing. That would be very fun.
How
Be
fun
very
would that
interesting.
be?
Yes.
I,
So he's much more laid back,
mhm.
and we'll just like go with the flow and be much more impulsive. And I prefer to have things planned and to have somewhat of a schedule each day still, even when we're traveling away, or abroad. So yeah, there are those things that you have to kind of work out. And
Yeah.
I have to relax a little bit, right? Or if I need
Mhm.
to manage my anxiety, that if I don't have a schedule, or I'm in a place where like I like to go running, but if I'm in a place where that's not really possible, then what else? Okay, can I take a walk, or things like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do like things to be a little more scheduled than he does. He's like, whatever, but he's good because he'll just do whatever I want to do for the most part with most of that stuff.
You're gonna make a lot of people jealous, Kim.
I feel lucky in that. I mean, like I said earlier, he doesn't want to go to museums or whatever, but if I like was
Mhm.
like, please, I've always wanted to go here, he'll say, all right, we'll go, that kind of thing. So he's good about giving in and negotiating a little bit. I think
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And then I think the flip side would be my husband likes to arrive early to places, and I'm always running a tiny bit late, right? So I have to really be on the ball with that. And I do that. And you know why? Because it matters to him.
Yeah.
So I do that because it's really important. And that's a way to show that I value and cherish him. And I think that's something important we need to learn when we want to have like a mature relationship.
Yeah.
That's it's not based in subservience or anything like that. It's based in the understanding that this matters to the other person, so it should
Hmm.
matter to me to
Yeah.
do this one little thing. What's the big deal? Of course, I
Yeah.
love this person, I'll do the thing.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Understanding their things and trying to accommodate
Mhm.
so you guys can just stay happy and work together. Yeah. Like you said, it's not subservience, but just trying to like
Right.
negotiate it together, especially with traveling. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Ken
Exactly.
Ken gets cranky when we like travel. So, I know that about him.
Mhm.
He
Right.
gets a little hangry, a little cranky, a little frustrated with traffic or whatever. So I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
this isn't about me. He's just this stuff stresses him out a little bit more.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, we should totally do the couples podcast thing.
Oh, yes. I think that would be really fun.
Somebody says, hi Cheryl. Nice to
Oh,
see
hi,
you.
Cheryl.
Cheryl has a podcast episode coming out soon where she worked and lived
Wow.
in Japan.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be really good. I can't wait for that one to come
Mhm.
out. Yes. So, and then what about the rest of you guys? Anybody else have anything with their like partners and traveling, anything that you're struggling with? Cindy's like an expert here with this stuff. She might have some suggestions for you. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
it's hard to
Jenny,
talk about too. I
I
get
know it
it,
is.
you
Jen,
know.
Jenny Sale said hi. She made it in. She was the one that couldn't find us. I'm glad you found us, Jenny.
Oh, great. Yeah. I think I just I love for people to have that experience of, just changing it up, getting to be playful. I mean, that's so important when you think about what we've all been through, past 3 years of the pandemic and everything. Um, Couples are longing to have that reconnection, to have fun again, right? And
Yeah.
also to have fun around others because we were so isolated. And travel opens that up, where you can, sit in a cafe and talk to other people. Uh, it can just be really exciting. Or if you're on a tour and you get to talk to the other people and like make new friends.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, I
Mhm.
love a tour. I love going on tours. Somebody said, not working and traveling, but curious. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how to work from our cottage in PA, which has spotty cell service at best. Okay, we might talk about that in a little bit. And Natasha says, I wonder about the need for privacy for sessions when traveling in small quarters like an RV. Yes, okay.
Mm,
I'll come and talk about all of this. And I'm lucky enough to have a partner with very similar likes and tastes when it comes to traveling. Yeah, that's
that's
great,
great.
Todd. Yeah. Oh, Megan's here. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Glad to see you. Megan's coming in
Yes, we
Wednesday,
know
hopefully.
she's a travel guru too. Big
Absolutely.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So with the Wi-Fi stuff, have you ever run into that stuff, Cindy?
I
Cindy?
have.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's tough.
It's really tough.
Mm.
Recently I started using like a personal hotspot. I didn't know I could do that on my phone, so it was totally worth doing
Mm.
that, and that helped a lot. Um, the biggest problems I've had have been like traveling on cruises, and even if you buy like the highest level Wi-Fi package, it's never good enough.
That's
Um,
true.
Although I haven't tried it with a hotspot. I don't know if you could do a hotspot on a cruise.
Maybe if you have good cell service there, you might be able
Yeah,
to.
maybe.
I did it in Alaska. I got the cruise upgrade. It was perfect. It was crystal
Really.
clear, but that's the only time I've ever had that on a cruise ever.
Mm,
That was our Norwegian cruise, but maybe because it was in the United States. I'm not sure.
mm.
Um, yeah, and with the Wi-Fi stuff, there's so many options. I recently had that issue in Sedona, Arizona. We were in an Airbnb. The Wi-Fi was terrible. I had all kinds of stuff scheduled. So the public library in these towns that we're traveling to have really become my best friend. Like going to the public library, getting the Wi-Fi password when they're open, because you can even sit
Hmm.
outside and in your car and have sessions that way
Wow.
connected to their Wi-Fi, if you can't get good cell service. Um, so that's an option. We recently bought it's called a Solus. I'd have to go look it up. We haven't tried it yet, but it's supposed to be a really good option. A lot of traveling couples will have two different cell plans, like one will have AT&T and one will have T-Mobile, where you can, you know, like
Mhm.
if one tower is not working, the other tower might be. So that's another option to try. Um, I have a Google fee, which you can turn on and off whenever you want to. So that's helped me out too a couple of times because the Google fee will find any cell tower close to you if you can't connect with your own cell phone. So that has helped me, like in Mexico, that worked really well for me when I was down in Mexico. So that's an option.
Yeah.
Um, I hope that helps. And oh, our next guest is here already. Wow, that went fast.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Oh my gosh, Cindy, I'm
That's
so glad to
great.
see you.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Kim, for inviting me. And I'm really happy to meet everyone. And if you have any other questions, just drop them in. Um,
And let me see, Cindy runs the Therapist Boutique, therapistboutique.com, right?
yes. Yes. And
She
I'm
is,
gifting a t-shirt.
yes. So on Thursday night, we're going to do like a prize drawing for everybody that's turned in their bingo board and their Dream Life worksheet, one or the other or both. Two will get you two entries, but we're going to do a drawing for all these prizes, and Cindy's one of them that's giving away a t-shirt. And I
Yes.
have like five t-shirts from her place already.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, that's
Okay, I'm so glad
awesome.
to see you. I'll
Great.
talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let's see. We've got Amber coming in now. Let me just look here. I'm going to come over here and check your questions too in a little bit, but let me bring Amber in. Amber's another course contributor. Amber Priestley. Let's see. Hey. Wait for your audio to connect.
There we
Hi.
go. Hi, how
Can
are
you
you
hear
doing?
me okay? Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I love the balloons.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. It's the Traveling Therapist Extravaganza.
I know. Yes, yes, right. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. The weather is gorgeous. My entire family is out in the backyard right now swimming in our pool. And so I'm going to join them as soon as I'm done with this. And
Okay.
so,
Well, this won't be long, about 15 minutes. Yeah, I hear you. We were just swimming a minute ago too. Yeah, out in the ocean right before this. Yeah, so I'm so glad you're here. We've got people watching. So your course, I've just kind of like been talking a little bit about how people have contributed to the course and sort of what their area of expertise was. I'd love if you'd maybe share with the people that are watching like what yours was about.
right. Yes. So I was sharing tips about being intentional with when you're traveling. How does that impact how you're curating your personal experience and your mindset and being more in a, instead of striving all the time, working into thriving, finding those areas that really, really impact you from a lifestyle alignment perspective, because many of us, we're entering or wanting to do this traveling therapist thing because we've realized that our current like lifestyle alignment really isn't, working out the best. And so I shared some concepts about we get stuck in this striving mindset, which is a lot of that perfectionism, the all or nothings, the comparisons,
Oh my
and
God.
kind of our
Yeah.
and all of our imposter syndrome, that kind of holds us back, or those questions that we ask ourselves, like, can we really operate this way, travel the way that we want to, and still make the income and the impact that we want, and kind
Mm,
of going to a place of instead striving. And that's finding your own self compassion, flexibility, and gratitude towards your process. It's, you know, you, we go through a lot of ideas related to how do you really define what makes life and work happy and create a healthy balance for you.
mm,
So we do
mhm.
some examples or some activities within the training to help you identify, kind of what are the key areas that you must keep doing, and what are kind of those things that you could change or adjust to make your lifestyle alignment happier or move
Yeah.
towards that goal of being more of a traveling therapist.
Yes.
How do you do that? And then how do you also avoid burning out or feeling lonely or fatigued along the way too, So what are some strategies for those essential building blocks, when you're planning out, especially if you're just taking the first steps around getting ready to travel or getting ready to take things more on the road per se, like what there's some very helpful tips that I have around creating decision templates or
Yeah.
task blocks that can really help you create consistency, even though like your surroundings change, right?
Right. When everything's so unpredictable as a traveling therapist, like could change every single day. The place you're in, you have to leave for some reason. I mean, you just never know. You have nowhere else to go. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I hear you. So keeping a regular schedule of like the important stuff so you can enjoy the other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That you can really live in that genius zone, also having all that flexibility you really are desiring and all of that freedom to travel or to have that personal exploration piece in your life that you're really missing and probably looking to reincorporate, add more of, or find out how you can be more flexible within that.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Let me see. Oh, I'm looking at the comments people are putting in here. Yeah, because I think when you and I talked before, you talked about that you just go you go real unpredictable too, but you've got everything built in, so you could just do that. You could be totally like spontaneous with your travel, right?
Right. Yeah. And so we do a lot of that. I mean, next weekend we're headed to Chicago. We're going on a week of it's going to be a family trip / we're traveling because my daughter is in high school and she plays softball. So we're going on a family kind of road trip into Chicago. We're going to spend make an entire week of stops and historical sites along the way, and that's just a short trip. And then we have trips later this year. We're going to go on a cruise, or we're just going to go, we're just a little bit unpredictable that way, but we go at least quarterly on a larger trip that takes us out of our comfort zone. And then we probably take mini trips. We're gone at least 1 to 2 weekends every 6 or 8, I'd say. So
Nice.
pretty frequently moving around. Like we have up
Mhm.
north, we have a cabin we spend time at, and we're moving around. We were on our boat doing we love the water lifestyle as well, so we spent
Yes.
Father's Day on our boat, and so we like to travel around and try different um types of water in
Nice.
neighboring states, neighboring areas. And so travel doesn't always have to be like international either, right? And so we focus
Yes.
a lot on crossing off the 50 states. How can we get to all of these places, see all of these things? And so, because we still do have kids, so enriching, their travel life, or having them love travel too, is important.
Yes, right. You really want to ingrain that in them. Let me see. How do you schedule around, for example, going to historical sites and your appointments, especially when you're on the road?
Right.
Somebody's asked.
Right. Yes. When I'm doing that, usually what happens is I've set aside work hours. I generally tend to work either early mornings or late afternoons and early evenings. So I can
Mhm.
block that time so that I'm out when the majority of things are kind of open. So, like during the middle of the day, I might get up really early and do a couple of sessions, like at between 8 and 10, and then I'll meet up with everyone, and then we'll go out for the day, and then we'll get back in around 4 o'clock, and then from like 5 to 8, I'll do
Yeah.
client sessions. And so that's generally how a typical day goes. It's rare that like I'll do a full day of work and then take a full day off. I'm really kind of I'm like, here's a little bit of work. Okay, let's go play. Here's a little bit of work. Then let's go out and play for a little bit.
That's nice. And you figured out that's the best way for you.
Right. And I know it
Um,
doesn't work that way for everyone. Some people
mhm.
really need, like, I always work on Mondays between this time and this time.
Right. Yep. Like I try to. I'm not the best at this, but usually the mornings I'll block those off. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or like when I see clients early, then we can just go for the rest of the day. Because my boyfriend can pretty much just go wherever as long as he's logged in. If they need him, he can, answer them. But,
Mhm.
so we do that. And then, we have the afternoon to explore, and then we can go stop and have dinner somewhere and come back and watch Netflix or whatever we're going to do in the evening. So I like to get it out of the way in the morning, but I think it's what you're saying is so important. Like take some time to plan ahead so like what schedule is right for you, and then you can work it out that way. But as you're saying, like keep it structured with how you need it so it works for you. So you're not getting exhausted when you're on the road, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. Because some people really enjoy different aspects of it. Like for me, I love eating, when I'm traveling. And so
Yeah,
to me, that part isn't so stress. I probably should care more about that because I love to eat, all the things.
I
But
hear you. It's hard.
some people are like they're following specific diets. So, I shared examples of that like in my decision templates. Like there are certain parts of your life that you tend to find more or less stressful just because of your personal preferences, right? And so figuring out which areas to hack can make a huge difference. Like just changing even the days and times that you work to be more in alignment with what works for you or what you enjoy. Because if you always feel like you're in sessions and the FOMO is there like 100% all the time because you don't get to go out and explore, that makes
Totally.
it very, very difficult. So,
Yeah.
planning for that by really being intentional with it, and don't be afraid to change it up.
Mm.
If it's not working, try something else and experiment with just one day a week,
Yeah.
start
Yep.
small.
Yeah, because a lot of therapists get really stuck in, well, I can't move my schedule around because my clients aren't gonna, they're gonna leave, they're not gonna want to do this or that. But the next guest is already here. God, time is flying tonight.
No, it's going so
It's crazy.
fast.
Um, yeah, a lot of therapists get stuck in that, especially ones I meet with like for coaching and stuff. They'll say like, I can't do that. Like you're saying, like, but the truth is you can. If your clients have a good relationship with you, they're very flexible a lot of times.
Right.
And you can refer them out, if it's not going to work, if it's like, I can't do Saturdays anymore, and they're like,
Yeah.
Saturday is the only day. You might just need a new therapist. I mean, you have to do that sometimes because we have to take care of ourselves first. I found that really hard in the beginning to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of value in it because once I started making decisions with clients based on a mutual relationship of respect around time too. Like I just don't have no shows, late cancels, things like that. Like I tend to plan in advance for changes in my schedule too. So if I decide, hey, I don't really want to work Wednesday mornings anymore, over the summer, I want to change that up. I'll tell my clients 3 months in advance, hey, by the way, if we're still meeting on this schedule come June, I'm probably going to want to travel some. So I'm going to move that around. Maybe we'll have to do, a different day or different time,
Yeah,
and usually that's
exactly.
never, I very rarely have encountered an issue with that.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, I'm so excited to share your contribution with everybody once the course opens. The course opens on Thursday, so I'm super excited to just share it. I think it's just going to be so helpful. Yeah.
Yes, I am super, super pumped for it and to share it with my audience as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, wonderful. And just side note, I did a podcast interview with Amber also, and that's coming out, I think, in maybe about 3 weeks. So I'm excited about that too. Yeah, for
Me
you guys to
too.
hear that. I'll let you
Exciting.
know when it comes out. Yeah. So nice
Awesome.
to see you. Thanks for
You
contributing to the
too.
course. We'll see you later.
Anytime. See you
O-
later. Thanks,
Okay.
Kim.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye. Okay, let's see. We've got Lisa Lovelace coming in. I see all these questions. I am going to come back and answer these, but let me let Lisa in.
Hi. What is
I'm glad
going
to
on
see you.
here?
Oh, I love it. Do you like my balloons?
Summer look. Oh, I love your balloons. Look at
Thank you.
those. It's so festive. I knew you were hanging up stuff today. You're like,
You're so funny. How are you?
good. It's so good to be here. I'm great.
Yes.
It's summer. It's like 100 degrees in Minnesota. We don't know what to
Oh
do
my
with
gosh.
that here. It's
I'm just
okay.
looking at the comments. Yeah, people are just commenting. Okay. Yes, I know. It's so hot. It went from freezing there to hot there, it sounds like. Because I know you were
That's
freezing.
Minnesota. That's
Yeah.
Minnesota. Any given day, freezing snow, then rain, then summer. You don't know what you get.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really glad you're here. For those of you
Thank
that are
you.
watching, Lisa contributed to the Expert's Guide to Becoming a Traveling Therapist too. Um, she's she's a little different. She doesn't really travel a lot,
True.
but but I do like your story, how you finally like dawned on you, like, wait, I can travel actually.
Yes.
Do you want to do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to
Yes, I
share
know
about that?
exactly. Yes.
Will you share that?
Yes. And I love that intro. She's a little different.
Shut
I'm
really, I
like,
mean, she's a
Mom,
traveling
is
therapist
that you?
now.
Yeah. I traveling now. So obviously, like years ago, I was doing clinic work and then I was doing solo telehealth on the side. So it's like you can't really leave any different. When I quit my clinic job day to day and I was building my online group practice, like the minute after like I quit, it was like, well, it was maybe a little bit after, but COVID was happening and it's like the world is locked down. And
Yeah.
so I never like put together like, okay, I don't work at a clinic Monday through Friday at these hours. I actually run my own business now. I have my own solo clients and then I run a group practice. Obviously, that's all online. So I don't have to go into like a brick and mortar building and deal with all the like water leaks and somebody got locked out and that stuff. So it was, for our family, we, have a little one, got vaccinated and felt like, oh, we could like go somewhere now and life is okay and feel pretty safe. And I'm like, we're just going to go. I'm going to take off from my clients and we're going to go to Florida, see some family we hadn't seen for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And we ended up staying for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And like, it was amazing because I'm like, wait a minute, this is what Kim does. She just goes and, I never like could take off 2.5 weeks. And so obviously working only telehealth, having an online practice and having an online group practice, managing all the clinicians and everything. It just was like so eye-opening that this is actually how people live. And after that, we literally traveled 2 more times in the next like 6 months. My husband works from home, so like that's easy. Yeah. And then my little one is like in 1st grade and they said, pull him as much as you can. Just until he's like in 5th or 6th grade, then it gets harder, but they're like, just take him as much as you can to see life.
That's amazing. Really?
Yeah. Everybody has told us that has older kids. They're like, don't care. Like, what are they, they're learning how to like play in the alphabet and write and, whatever. So they're like, just pull them when they're young so you can have experiences and travel and be with your family and enjoy life because you work so hard and you're like, I don't want to just like wait for one time a year to go somewhere if you can.
Totally.
And that was the freedom and the eye opener for us was like, wow, I can run this business from anywhere. And I had good help and still do. And it was like a miracle to be in the sun in the Minnesota winter and leave and go in the sun. And I saw you and
I know she happened to come to Hollywood where I was living at the time. So we got to hang out. It was really fun.
It was very fun. So I think that's like what, because COVID was really when I quit my clinic job, it's like, I didn't really travel. I didn't have that experience. So I just felt like I'm in my office. I'm home. I have to be working. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I don't.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was alluding to too. Like Lisa shared with me that she's like in this mindset, like even though she's working from home, like she has to actually work from her home office. Like it never dawned on her for like years that she could just go work from anywhere. Really. She had to work from her home office. So I
don't
love
know
that
what that was about. It's like, this is just where I get comfortable and I have all my stuff and it just was amazing in that where I could work at night or in the morning or really whenever. I saw still a couple of clients and able to work with my, end of the month stuff because it was over New Year's. I had to deal with all the good faith estimate stuff that came out and everybody was freaking out. So, it was a way to figure out how do I balance like my work and also to enjoy play with your family or whoever you want to play with so that you're invigorated and you're not feeling burnout by what we do. Cause it's pretty heavy being in a therapist role, and also being in a practice owner role. It can get to be a lot. So it's like, if you have palm trees and sun, when you'd normally for 6 months be locked inside with below 0, it made a big difference. And we just felt like, oh, we can go back. And now it's basically end of January. And like, oh, the sun is lighter and it gets a little bit easier out every day. And then we were like, oh, there's a long weekend for school. He didn't have it. We're like, let's go to Disney. And it was just random.
She was like, hey, guess what? We're at Disney World. I was like, what?
I'm like, Kim, you've inspired me. And now I'm
I
on a
love
roll,
that.
we just used a bunch
I
of
love that.
points. We had to cancel trips during COVID that we had set. And so we had tickets and stuff. So, made it a lot easier to kind of like the 2 years we didn't travel, we kind of made up for it in like 6 months.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Love that so much. So Lisa's contribution to the course is she started an online group practice before online was even a thing, before online group practices were a thing. Like when was that, Lisa, that you started? I mean,
So,
long
yeah, Synergy eTherapy was basically born in about 2016.
yeah.
Virtual doors were open 2017, and I was building from there. And, online practice was not super popular yet. And it was still like the differentiator between us and other places was that we were online. Now that's not the differentiator. And since COVID, everybody's blowing up online, and group practices are now online, and people are in multiple states, and it's the norm. It's the way to do it. And
Yeah.
some people love, in person, and I
Yeah.
don't miss it. I really
Yeah.
don't. I did it my whole life.
Yeah.
I like the little bit of like, it's just so much, it's almost more draining for me to be in person because the energy
Mhm.
is more palpable. It's just like a little more intense.
I
So
get that. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
nice
still
to
have
have
great
that
connection.
barrier in a way. Yeah. Hmm.
Totally. It makes it a little easier for me to not burn out. The screen thing might, hurt some people, but it doesn't really seem to impact me as much. And then, as you're traveling, as you're, owning a group practice, you can start to see less and less clients clinically. So you don't get
Yes.
burned out as much from the screens too, which is super nice.
Hmm. And that's why I asked Lisa to contribute to the course, because even though she didn't travel a lot, she really is an expert in creating this online group practice thing that you can run from anywhere. And that's what her course is about. Like, how do I do this? How do I bring more income in from having an online group practice, still be able to travel and still be able to run my practice from afar, from wherever,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah, what were you gonna say?
Just like helping people who want to expand, know that, when you're solo and you love clinical work, that's your income. When
Hmm.
you're a group practice owner, an online group practice owner, you get income from your therapists. And
Yeah.
so you don't have to be in session to still be earning income. You're still working for that income.
Hmm.
I'm working all the time, but it is a different kind of work. So when I want to go on a vacation or travel, or do what we have to do, for family things or whatever, it doesn't feel like I'm going to lose income as a group practice owner that's all virtual, because I'm
Yeah.
still earning some of that income through my clinicians doing their great work. And they're like,
Yes.
I don't want to run a group practice.
Right. Like me.
So it works out.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. No, but you figured that out, and Lisa and I talk sometimes, and she's also figured out how to start bringing people in to run the parts that she was running by herself for so long, to start outsourcing that stuff to make it even easier for her, which I think is
Right.
really cool. Hmm.
So like when we went to Disney and we met my brother-in-law out in San Diego and drove up to Disney, and then we took a detour to Palm Springs. We'd never been there. So we did this whole road trip that we didn't even expect. And that was only like a 5-day trip from like Wednesday to Sunday. And I have amazing help now. I have 3 really great, I have a social media person. I have a VA who's helping out with like some email stuff and sequencing and different things. And then I have Amanda who's helping with like, I kind of like call her my clone, because it's like, if I'm truly out of the office, I want her to be able to know how to manage all the aspects. And I've never had that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have this amazing core team right now that is helping me so
Hmm.
that I can do less. And they're, passionate about mental health, and we work really well together. But it also takes a while to like find your people that jive with
Yes.
you, which is why I think your directory is so cool, like a total sidebar on that. But like,
Yeah.
where do you go to find people, and how do you find people that you're going to jive with? And so it took me a while to get to this point of not doing everything myself, so that if I can go to Disney on a Thursday, it's like, I don't have to answer my emails in my Vox every 10 minutes. It's like, I'll get to it, or it'll take a little longer, or maybe I don't work for half a day and the business is still running, and I can enjoy what I've built, right? Like, this wasn't easy.
Absolutely.
It wasn't handed to me.
Right.
So,
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
like, when do you enjoy it? When do you get to enjoy it? And
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, so important. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And Lisa has side hustles too. I carefully chose people for this course that are doing the therapist thing, but also have like multiple income streams to give advice around how to do that stuff. So we're not locked into that one-to-one model
Mhm.
of, I have to have my butt in a chair with one client hour
Yeah.
after hour after hour after hour. Yeah.
It's exhausting. And I honestly never
is.
thought I would be doing anything else besides just client work.
Yeah.
Maybe teaching, maybe supervision, because I did that in New York when I was at the internship program and teaching and stuff there. But like, I never imagined, like, I'm not like a course creator,
Yeah.
I'm not
You are now.
like, I am not. I never thought I'd be a group practice owner either, so I think that there's sometimes people have these ideas and they get a little stuck in like, I can't do it, or I shouldn't do it, or I don't have time or money. And not but like, and if you have an idea, if there's something you're really good at, or if you see a gap in the industry, there's plenty of room for everybody. And I mean, something I love about your course and like is, everybody is very collaborative in nature and like giving and wants to help people to learn how to do like whatever it is the course is about. Like, everybody wants to help people learn how to like have this life that you can have multiple income streams. You cannot just do the one-on-one. You can do this, that, or the other thing, create something totally new so that you can enjoy like truly living. I mean, we were talking about this the other day of like, life is short, and a lot of us have had a lot of significant losses this year and in the past few years for sure. And it does make you stop and go, well, what am I doing all this for? Like, if we're
where
not,
does it end?
we have to save and we have to pay our bills, but like, we have to enjoy it too. Like, and this makes so much sense, like what we can do with it.
I know. I mean, we're lucky, I think, to be in this career, all of us as therapists, where we can work from anywhere. It's amazing.
I know. And anywhere, just even going for a day. You don't have to spend up money and flying and the whole thing, but you could just take a half a day or a day and like how, go anywhere in your state. Like, if you can't leave your state to see clients, if that's what you're doing, like, go somewhere for an Airbnb or, waterfall or a lake or a beach or wherever you live, the mountains, and experience like doing everything you can. What would it be like to work there and see 1 to 2, 3 clients somewhere totally different in your own environment? And like, when you're in a different place, your therapeutic engagement and brain is going to be different too. Like, you sit in your same office every day, it's not super stimulating. But if your environment yourself is different, then how might your therapy sessions be different too? I mean,
That's true. Absolutely. Yep.
Do you notice that? Like, when you're
I mean, if I'm more adventurous and living life to the fullest, I think I definitely kind of exude that in the therapy rapport, the relationship, because I do share that I travel and, and they love it. And it does encourage them. They're like, oh my gosh, one client that's afraid to drive. Yeah, I have one client that's afraid to drive. She loves the ocean. So she finally has figured out a way to get there, and it's been part of this process of me saying, I moved to the beach, so totally.
It's you're modeling, for them, like, you can enjoy, you can live and work. I think we just as a whole, like over here in America, maybe we don't do the work-life balance very well as some other countries, perhaps.
Yes. Yes. I hope to have Tamara Howell on here sometime this week to talk about
Yes.
the work-life balance over there because she's in the
Yes.
UK and it's different for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm super excited to be part of your course and
Me
hopefully
too.
inspire people to hire somebody. It's not so bad, and you can, make that money and travel a little bit more and have a little more balanced life being a group practice owner that's telehealth virtual. So, I
Totally.
mean, I love
It's a
it. I
great,
think
it's a
it's
great
great.
addition, a great side hustle.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa.
You're
Well,
welcome.
it's 7 already. Like this hour flew by.
Ooh, are you done? Did you just do a whole hour?
Yeah, we had 3 people come in, so you're the third. I do have some questions to answer. I don't know if you want to hang out or if you have to
Yeah,
go.
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I had some questions come through. If you guys have any questions for Lisa since she's hanging out, please drop the questions. Let's see. I just want to make sure I answered everything. So, somebody was asking about Wi-Fi and how to deal with that. I kind of talked about that a lot. For those of you that might have joined later, my best friend has become the public library, like in everywhere we've been. I swear, even when we're driving across country, there's been a couple of times where I've had meetings scheduled. Like, I have a membership called Bill Like a Boss. It's for therapists learning how to bill insurance. And 3 times a month, Lisa's actually a member in there too. 3 times a month, we have these live meetings that are just pre-scheduled. Like it's always the second Wednesday of every month for the office hours that we have from 12 to 2. But it seems like these travel days fall on these days. I don't know why it happens that way, but it does. Um, so anyway, I found libraries like if I'm driving Kendall, like look up the next one that's going to be like in 90 miles. We'll call ahead. We'll see. We have to reserve one of the study rooms. We'll ask how the Wi-Fi is, and then they'll usually just put you down for a reservation if you even have to make one, and then you can just go on in there and have your meeting. Like the libraries have excellent Wi-Fi, like super fast Wi-Fi. Almost every one I've ever been to. So that's
That's a
just
good pro tip. I love that.
it's helped me so much because there's been times like when we were around the Grand Canyon, Ken had a meeting there. We had no cell service. I can't even remember the name of this little town we were in. If he can hear me, he could tell. I mean, this little teeny town, there was no cell service. We pulled in, there was this library. It was like one room. The Wi-Fi was super fast and we
That's
both were able to get
amazing.
in and work. And so that's really helped me a lot in this journey so far. Let's see. I'm lucky enough to have a partner. Oh, we were talking about like when your partners have different travel styles
Mhm.
and how that can be difficult sometimes. Okay. Megan said you both look great. Talking about me and Cindy back in the beginning.
Nice.
Thanks, Megan. Okay, let's see. Thinking about traveling through Canada on the way down to the lower 48, wondering how to do that with telehealth, how to use hotspots, etc. Okay. Yeah, in the expert's guide to becoming traveling therapist, I actually put together an entire PowerPoint with any kind of Wi-Fi option you can think of. But I think, Jenny, if you're traveling with a partner, if you both have different cell carriers, that can help because you can turn on your hotspot on your phone and usually connect that way if you have good cell coverage. If you don't, especially in Canada, I don't really know what the situation is in Canada, but I would try to find even a Starbucks. They have great Wi-Fi a lot of times. You can pull up to the parking lot and just go in, connect to the Wi-Fi, come out back to your car and have your session in your car. If you have like this background I have behind me, obviously is not real, but you can put lots of Zoom backgrounds back that just look like an office and your client doesn't know you're sitting in your car. I've had to do that before too.
Is that it when you do like Starbucks, is that like, does it, because it's like a free Wi-Fi, is that HIPAA or how do you make it?
Yeah, there's a thing called a VPN
Yeah.
that you can download it. I think mine is like
Yeah.
$12 a year or something, and you could
Yeah.
turn
My
it on.
husband did that. He downloaded some VPN and I'm always like in some different country every time I look and see
Yeah, it's
like
like,
where
wait,
I
why is
am.
my connection so bad? Oh, I'm in Afghanistan. Okay. Because the VPN basically will mask like where you are, mask your location, and keep
Yeah.
your connection private, even if you're on a public network.
Public.
So
Oh.
yeah. So that you can use a VPN for those situations.
Cool.
I don't have to worry about when I'm doing like my Bill Like a Boss stuff because, we don't have to be HIPAA compliant.
Yeah.
But for clients, yeah, you can use a VPN. And if you can use your cell phone hotspot, that's better because that's, a secure network. Let's see. I do wonder about Wi-Fi as well, especially because I like to camp and backpack in more remote areas that might not have cell coverage. Yeah. The answer to that is you just
That's like
don't
the
have.
big question. Like, how do I access?
Well, we need to get what's his name? Elon Musk, who's got the satellite internet. Supposedly he's going to
Yeah.
open one day for all of us. You just get the
Right.
internet anywhere. So I think write him a letter and ask him when he's going to do that.
Help therapists.
Yeah, because it's bad. If you're in a place where there's a lot of mountains, it's tough to get coverage sometimes.
You have to plan accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to plan. If you're going to be deep in somewhere, probably just don't even see clients because it can be so frustrating trying to do that. A lot of states are still allowing audio only therapy sessions. Before the pandemic, that wasn't allowed in a lot of states. Like Virginia said, if it's not a face-to-face video session, then it's not considered therapy. They wouldn't allow you to do phone sessions for an LCSW in Virginia. But once the pandemic hit, they lifted that restriction. So now if you check with your state of licensure to see if it's still allowed through your license, you can do audio sessions. Like you could call your client, you could have a session that way.
Yeah, and it still counts.
Yeah, and it still counts. It's like you're not, violating your license or anything like that. So that's always an option. And somebody says, I'm lucky enough to be able to do therapy from basically anywhere as it's more collaborative counseling associated with primary care clinics and MAC clinics. Now it's just getting situated to do some traveling. Oh, well, you're good. Yeah.
Nice.
Now you got to figure out where to go.
Where to go.
In the course, actually 2 ways you can get this guide I created. I called my friend Madeline and I reached out to every board in every state in the country and asked them if we're allowed to work in their state for LCSWs, LPCs, and LMFTs. We didn't get answers from everywhere, but we did try. So that's a free guide I put together. If you're on my newsletter, the very first email that comes through gives you access to that guide. But it's also in the course. I put it in there too. So if you purchase the course, it's just one of the modules in there, that whole guide that we got. And I'm continuously trying to get information from the boards that didn't answer me. So as I get more answers, I fill it in. So it's like
I'd be curious to know what boards those are and if they're the ones that are notoriously non-responsive in general.
I know, I'd have to go look. California never answered me, although people have given me an answer in the Facebook group.
Right.
And there's some states like Texas, right? As an LCSW, I cannot practice in the state of Texas and see my clients in Virginia. So there are some states that don't allow you to do that, even though it's ridiculous. Like I don't even know why, because you're not seeing clients in Texas. You're still seeing your Virginia clients or your state of licensure clients, but you can't do it. So
there's something like that in SciPact for psychologists. I'm in SciPact, and you have to choose a home state, even though there's like 27 plus states getting into this pact. You have to choose a home state. So I'm physically in Minnesota. I chose Minnesota. And when I'm in Minnesota, I can physically, or I can telehealthily see clients. I don't know that that's a word, but telehealthily see clients in any one of those SciPact states or wherever I'm licensed. But if I go, let's say to Arizona, and I'm not, I mean, I don't know what the rules are for psychologists off the top of my head, but for SciPact, if I go to Arizona, just because I'm in SciPact doesn't mean I can see clients from anywhere in that state. And it's kind of like, well, I get it, but at the same time, so I'd still have to call Arizona and say, I'm coming to sit in your state. Can I see clients that are not in Arizona from your state and or wherever? So that's one thing to know for SciPact. It's amazing and I love it, but that's the only thing that feels a little bit like, and what's the point?
Yeah, I know. Somebody actually just reached out to me for a consultation on that very thing because they were like, SciPact's great, but I have to be sitting in my home state to be able to even use it. And I'm like, yeah, That's terrible. And she said she was actually thinking of getting another license as an LPC so she could have more flexibility to travel. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's what she told me. So I
wow.
was like, wow. Okay. Well, I guess
We do
that's
what we got to do. Yeah.
yeah. Or become a coach. I mean, some people do that, right? They just don't even
Yeah.
use their license and they do
Mm-hmm.
coaching instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so Kathy says, I love the library option. I tried using McDonald's Wi-Fi in the parking lot when I needed to reach out to a client while we were on vacay at a cottage. That signal was too weak. Yeah. Cell service only worked for a phone call, but that was with an established client and that was fine. Yeah, I hear you. So Kathy, I tend to wait till the very last minute and then go try to find Wi-Fi. My boyfriend does not allow me to do that because he's like always prepared. So he makes us go scout ahead of time. So I would say, um, think about that, scout out, like try the Starbucks, try the McDonald's, try a couple places around, like get there an hour early if you have to try to find a better place that has a better signal if you can't use the library.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, because I tend to wait till like 10 minutes before and then I'm freaking out.
Totally. That's me
He's
too.
like, why do you always do this? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I
Because
do
it's
this.
too much effort to go and scout out. You're like, I want to sit by the pool or I want to, go hike. It's hard to like go do work when you're not doing work. Yeah.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm really bad about that. Oh, well, Kathy said she had to leave, but okay. Bye, Kathy.
Bye, Kathy.
Let's see. Cheryl said, I live in Chicago. Please let me know how I can help with any information you may need. Oh, somebody was talking about traveling through Illinois and stuff. So thank you,
Okay.
Cheryl. I hope they will reach out to you. Let's see. How do you schedule around? Oh, we already answered that one. Okay. What else? Cindy said, so inspiring, Lisa Lovelace.
Thank you, Cindy. You are too.
She is. And Jenny asked, how do you get a VPN? So you can go to the App Store on your phone and you can download. The one I use is called PIA VPN. So PIA stands for Private Internet Network. So PIA VPN if you go to the App Store.
The
And
one my husband got is called Nord, N-O-R-D VPN. Have you heard of that one?
mhm,
Nord. They're not
yeah,
that expensive.
they're super cheap. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the way it works when you log in, you can like choose what location you want to like put your IP address in. So it'll like put you in like the nearest city that has like a good Wi-Fi signal and you could just like choose that one and then it like kind of reroutes it through that. So it doesn't even look like your IP address is like at the public network where you are, where that IP address is. It reroutes it. So, that's how it keeps it private, I guess. I should pull Ken in here to give us these.
Right. How does
Make it-
this work in technology
He's got
land?
us working over there. So I don't know if I'm exactly explaining it right, but if you look up PIA VPN or VPN, it'll explain it to you more. And in the course, I did put like a whole section about VPNs and what they are. I did a lot of research around it, so you could see that.
Awesome.
Okay. And Jenny says, Kim, how do you handle mail for your practice while traveling, considering moving to lower 48? Jenny lives in Alaska, by the way, if anybody's wondering. Considering moving to the lower 48 and traveling along the way, but not sure how to manage things like that. So Jenny, I use Anytime Mail in Virginia. So I still use a Virginia address because I'm licensed there and I'm credentialed in Virginia through the insurance companies. So I use Anytime Mail and it basically it's like a post office box, but it writes as a suite number. So I put the address and it's like suite number 2026 instead of like post office box. So I've used that with all the insurance companies and I haven't had a single problem with it. Thank goodness. And I keep it through Virginia because if I were to say like I live in Florida, then you have to re-credential with the insurance companies. You have to change the address. You have to get for Blue Cross Blue Shield, a new contract, and the rates are lower in Florida. So it's this whole thing. For a mailing address, I use my mom's mailing address in Florida right now because we don't have an address, so we use hers and all of our mail goes to her. We give her $100 a month, which she loves. And when we get mail, she takes pictures and sends it to us. And then every couple of weeks, I'll have her like mail a package wherever we are. Like if we're going to be in an Airbnb for a while, we'll have her mail the package there. So that's how we're managing
That's smart.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great questions.
I know, really. And let's see. Mary says, I use Surfshark, lots of deep discounts for the first year. Oh, what's that? What is Surfshark? I'm not sure. I'm guessing maybe that's a VPN too. Let us know, Mary. I love hearing about new
A lot of
resources.
people too use, if they do like a registered agent, you can get your mail at that physical place too. And
Mhm.
I don't know how that works. If they send it to you, scan it to you, I don't know. But there's a lot of those options too for people to open the mail.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, anytime mail, they you want to ask them for a BAA. Make sure you can get a BAA, which is basically saying that they're going to handle your information like it's HIPAA compliant. Get a BAA, and then when the mail comes in, they'll send you a picture of what the mail is, and then you can choose to have them just mail it to your address, to open it and scan it, to shred it or recycle it is the options I get with it. So usually I'll just have them scan it if it looks like thin, because one time I had them scan and it was like 60 pages. I think it cost me like
oh,
$25 or something. So
was
I was
it?
like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Oh no.
But I wanted to know what it was, because it looked important. So you run into stuff like that, but not very often.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's how that works usually. And Mary says, yep, a VPN. Okay, so Surfshark is a VPN. Awesome. Mary says, be careful with some of those. I use Swift filings and they decided they were my registered agent and kept billing me. It was never necessary in my home state. Oh, okay. So Mary saying, be careful with registered agents.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
went ahead and charged me 200 and something. I only should be paying like $49 for a year. And I got a bill for 2 something. And I'm like, hello, I didn't authorize this. And they're like, oh, you have to go in and opt out of us filing your business filings in the state or something. I'm like, I never opted in or told you to do that ever. They're very sneaky and they gave it back. They gave it back.
That Florida telehealth, was that the
Yep.
Sunshine? They did the same thing to me. You had to opt out of the annual report. Like they like say they're filing an annual report for you for like $250, but you don't even have to file it. So
No.
I opted out and got the money back too.
I'm like, you sneakies.
Yeah. Yeah. So many little details. I know. Oh gosh. Well, I hope that helps, guys. I know we've gone over. I know I said it was only till 7, but let me know if you have any more questions. I'll be watching the comments, and then tomorrow night we've got, I think, 3 more people coming in to chat with us. Let me double check.
Who?
Yeah, let me look.
Love
Let's
it.
see. Yeah, we got people lined up all week. I'm so excited about it. Let's go. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. So let's see. Under events, tomorrow is Andrea Shipley. She lives in a schoolie. She's so cool. She like renovated her own school bus and she lives in it. She's lived in it for years, but she also contributed to the course, just talking about like the mindset. Like she does it by herself. Like she just travels around by herself in the schoolie. Like she parks on beaches and parks and
oh wow.
Yeah, she
That's
talks
amazing.
in the course, she talks about like being a solo traveler and just how she manages that. It's really amazing. And then Janine Wolf, who talks about like, don't be an island. You need peer support while you're traveling around doing this, like really kind of this thing that could be really isolating if you're like a digital nomad. And then Jen Hyatt, she contributed to the course about managing time zones. So Jen lives in Japan. She's licensed in California and somewhere on the East Coast. So she's worked out a system on how to manage the time zones and still see her clients. So she contributed to the course also.
That's so cool. That's a big one because a lot of EHRs and do not have time zone. You have to choose one. And if you have clients in multiple states, we talk a lot about multi-state licensure and therapists, and it goes along with the traveling is really hard with the time zone issues.
Yes.
There's some hacks because a lot of the EHRs don't allow you to change it. So, I mean, your phone might change it when you move to a different time zone, but yeah, it's always so confusing.
It's so confusing. I check it like 15 times, even though I know I've already checked it and I think it's right. I still check.
You have
I'm
to be
like,
like, where am
about
I
this.
actually
I'll
today?
say it again. I'll be like, how many hours is it? It's
Yeah.
like 3. I'm
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, it sounds like a good week coming up. And I
yes,
know
so
a lot of people are going to learn so much. And if we can have people traveling and experiencing life and the outdoors and new sights and sounds and foods, and like, it'll just, I think it'll make us more balanced,
yeah.
you know,
Oh,
therapists and owners and all that stuff. So I think this is great. Thank you for
yay.
having me.
Thank you for coming. Thanks everybody
Yes.
who came to the event. Let us know if you have questions, and I hope to see you tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, we've got more guests coming. I think it's Shayla Peterson and Megan Gunnell. Hopefully she's under the weather right now, but I hope she'll be able to come. And then Thursday night, we're having a happy hour where I'm just going to invite you guys all into the Zoom room. Bring your favorite beverage. Let's talk about our dream life worksheets. We're going to give away prizes. So I've got a ton of awesome prizes for everybody that completed the bingo board and the Dream Life worksheet. So if you turn those into me, either post in the Facebook group or email them to me, I'm going to put your name in a drawing and I'm going to just give away a bunch of prizes.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
So that's Thursday night.
How exciting.
I
Have a great
know.
week. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me a part of this.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this course to be released on Thursday. I think you guys are going to love it.
Oh yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff in there.
It does. Yes. Okay, well, I'll talk to everybody tomorrow. And if you have questions that come up, drop them in the comments. I'll come back and answer them later. Okay.
Sounds good. Bye, everybody. Bye,
Bye,
Kim.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, Lisa. Thank you.